talk again.
You think I
Stop.
Man, you're trying to use me for Twitter clicks. It's me that you want to use for Twitter views, shit.
I'm a thief. Like, no one's ever called me a thief before. You're very, very stupid. Chizzy, you are very, very stupid.
Ever since the merger of the level 1 and level 2 house, one thing that I can say has constantly been an issue that will cause fight in the house is food. Food has always been the issue between these housemates. Remember guys that before the house was merged together, level 2 housemates had earlier won their wager, meaning they had the opportunity to get more food supplies than the level 1 housemates. Now the level 1 housemates were constantly winning their head of house tax, saving their members from going home, and the level 2 housemates, they tried their best to always win their wager, and they always got food supply because they won their wager. Ever since both houses have been merged together, they've been having issues about food, and even at some point they had like a fight and an exchange of words about those people that were hiding food. Bella and Sheggz, they said they would do anything, that they will eat anything in the house, and if they eat it, anybody that has power should come and meet them. So they've already had the issues of food. Earlier, before they went to do their wager tax, Big Brother had called the housemates together, talked to them about the food. He actually cautioned the level 2 housemate, the level 1 housemate, the formerly level 1 housemates, on how they felt entitled to taking food from the level 2 housemates.
So why are you entitled to the fruits of former level 2 housemates' labor? If they decide to be generous, you should be grateful. And if they decide to be tight-fisted, then you must lick your wounds. Do you understand?
Yes, big brother.
Because the level 2 housemates are the actual owners of those food. So if they needed something if they needed to eat or something, they need to take permission from the level 2 housemates. So yeah, Big Brother had already told them earlier. So yes, they proceeded till the evening where they went for their the first arena games happened yesterday. So they went for the first arena games, and after the arena games, coming into the house, level 2 housemates found their food they had already hidden in their different places on the dining table, and that was because Big Brother had already addressed the issue of hiding food and how level 1 housemates should always take permission. The former level 1 housemates should always take permission from the level 2 housemates before taking any food to eat, any food that belongs to them to eat. So yes, they had already found it on the table, and people had already started picking things. In fact, they saw one bread that they've already eaten from, and I mean, the anger was already coming up. People were already talking about how people lack manners, people don't ask for permission before they take things, and Big Brother had earlier spoke about this. Now, in the process of all these things, one fight that stood out for me, because they were different fights. We had Brian and Fina's fight. Amaka joined in that fight because Amaka and Brian had already had like a fight previously, but not about food. So Amaka joined in the fight, calling Brian a very stupid boy. That aside, one fight that really stood out for me was the Chizzy, Sheggz and Bella fight. So yes, in the process of all this conversation, it seemed like Bella had already asked Brian and Modella to please take some egg from them, and they took eggs, and Brian and Modella had already given them permission to take eggs. But Chizzy came and saw that it looks like these guys, they don't listen to his instruction, and he wanted to stand his feet that nobody should take food from the table, nobody should touch their food except they decide to give them the food. In the process of everything, Chizzy found Bella with 2 eggs. Now, he approached Bella and he used the words, according to what he said, because the camera did not show us this part. According to what Bella said, she said Chizzy called her a thief for taking eggs from the table. And based on her explanation, she had already taken permission from Brian and Modella to take the eggs, and they said go ahead. So she was pissed that Chizzy called her a thief. Now, remember that once there is anything that concerns Bella, there is no way Sheggz won't get involved. So Sheggz got involved. Sheggz started saying stuff to Chizzy. Chizzy kept on raising his voice. Bella was raising her voice. Sheggz started raising his voice. And in the process, I will tell you one thing, that if no be Big Brother house, Sheggz supposed to collect slap from Chizzy, because I feel like Chizzy is holding back on a lot of things, but because he's in the Big Brother house, he does not want to fight and get disqualified, even though he's not a real housemate. So yeah, Sheggz was making statements like, "It's not me you use for your Twitter highlights" and stuff like that. He went on and on with the arguments and the dragging, and I think after that, because Chizzy had already called Bella a thief, according to what she said. I don't know if it's, are you a thief or you are a thief, I don't know. Based on the narrative out there, I don't know, because the camera didn't show us when Chizzy called her a thief, but based on her explanation, Chizzy called her a thief. So because Chizzy called her a thief, she started cussing Chizzy out, saying that he's very stupid, you're a useless boy. At some point, she said that when Chizzy even came to talk to her, that she could not stand his breath, meaning he has a smelly mouth. And at this point, I think Chizzy was pissed, and he said just one thing, because he was already calming down already. He said one thing to Bella. He said,
"Bella, you're a cookie.
Don't look at someone like that.
You know the meaning of a cookie.
I'm not going to blame Bella, because if you had called, I believe that if you insult someone or if you provoke someone and the person's reaction now goes higher than your own provocation, there is no way I'm going to judge the person that is reacting, because you started it, and if you started it, then you must finish it. Personally, I feel like Chizzy is doing too much, even though I don't like the fact that Bella and Sheggz would take food without taking permission, but I feel like Chizzy is doing too much. But then, it's a game. This guy came in as the rider of the show, and riders are not real housemates of the show. So he came in as a rider. Probably that is his aim in the house, to provoke people and stuff like that, to see if they will react. Well, Sheggz did not react. Sheggz normally, he just try form gangster, because na soft boy. So Chizzy, after the whole altercation, was sitting on the table quiet, and Bella kept on going on and on, calling him a stupid boy and all that. Like I said, I would not blame Bella, because if you insult me or if you bring trouble to my doorstep and I react, how I react, you can't decide how I would react. I would react the way I want to react. But then another thing that I really picked out from this argument, after Chizzy had called Bella thief, Sheggz made some statement that if not for Big Brother, would they be together? Would they be in the same house? And it sounded somehow to me. I don't know how it sounds to you, but watch the video and tell me what you think.
Stop talking to her like this, bro. Like, bro, just because Big Brother bring you and I together, I don't go see you on a normal day, bro. Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to her like that. Don't ever speak to her like that. Why the fuck is he speaking to her like that? Why are you speaking to her like that? Based on what? Based on Big Brother house? Will we be in the same place? Now Big Brother bring me and you together. What the fuck, bro?
Sheggz was trying to be that man that stands for women and stuff like that. Was trying to play. I think that attitude is quite manipulative, because Sheggz has had issues with some girls in the house, even doing and stuff like that. And even Rachel, he has said some stuff. Even Fina recently, he had issues with Fina, and nobody even called him out on having those issues with Fina. Instead, they just talked it out. But anything that has to do with Bella, and a man maybe having an issue with Bella, he starts saying things like, "Oh, you are the typical Nigerian man that does not know how to respect women," and stuff like that. That sounds really manipulative, and when he said it, I was a bit turned off. But then, I mean, it's the house. Your people's true character comes out. It's now left for the viewers to really know and look at, oh, this person is a manipulative person, or this person is fake, or this person is that. Well, it seems like they humbled Chizzy yesterday, because Chizzy, to me, is very loud with so many issues that should not even go that loud. But like I said earlier, probably he's playing his role, and he could not really fulfill that loudness with Bella, because Bella called him out on so many things, insulted him on so many, and said so many things to him that were really bad, and he was really calm after everything. Hopefully, in the coming weeks, I pray the housemates will be able to cope with themselves, understand themselves better. Yesterday they won their wager tax, meaning they will get food supply in the coming week. Hopefully they will be able to plan very well so that they don't get to do the fighting during food. Well, that was what happened between Chizzy, Sheggz and Bella. If you have any thoughts about the whole fight, let me know in the comment section and I'll be responding to them. Peace out.